If you could change only one thing about the Toyota Tacoma, what would it be? Only one thing. Yeah, and I'm going to give you a couple of honorable mentions too. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Pretty good here, and that's right. If you could change only one thing about the Toyota Tacoma, what would it be? Now, I gotta say, first of all, that it's almost perfect for me. Almost. You know, there's some nitpicky things here and there, but generally, there's only one or maybe three things that, I actually would change about the Tacoma. Now, I had to think about this a little bit, right? Because I thought, I don't want to be overly picky. Everybody has their little things, right? Starting with something as trivial as color, all the way to the way the motor performs. And that's going to be my one thing. Well, one of three. And that is the motor. And I don't know that or I should say the engine. And I don't know that it's really the engine's fault. I think it's probably more the fault of Toyota in the way that they have it set up, right? And I say that because I have a similar engine, at least in size, sitting right out there in my Jeep Gladiator. And that engine, or the setup, runs or meshes perfectly. Between the transmission, the power delivery, the acceleration, the way it feels, the way it handles, it's just awesome. And it's unfortunate that Toyota had chosen to go with the setup that they went with. The tune, because it's just lackluster. There's so much more, I think, that you could get out of this engine than what Toyota is giving us. And, I say that because to me, it does feel lackluster. It feels kind of sluggish, if you will. It does all right for cruising around town and, your typical stuff. It's fine. It'll get you there. It's a good daily driver. But if you're more of an enthusiast, which I guess I consider myself to be, I want a little bit more. I want a better driving experience. I don't want to settle for just blasé. I want a little excitement when I jump in this truck. And look at it. It's a gorgeous truck, You look at it and you think, man, this thing should really be something. And it doesn't have to have mods. It doesn't have to be lifted. It looks that way sitting in the dealer's lot, right? When you walk up to one of the Tacomas that are sitting there, it just screams that it should be more than it is. And it's a little disappointing, I think, if you're looking at it from that perspective, when you own one or get in one and drive it. Again, I'm not talking about just skipping puddles between here and there, the grocery store, Lowe's, that kind of thing. I'm talking about getting out and driving it and having fun. And I got to say, it's interesting, some of the comments that I get on the channel. People love to say, well, it's a truck. What do you expect? And I'm like, I expect more. And why shouldn't I expect more? I paid 40-some grand for this thing. I've got more in it now. But off of the lot, I expect it to be a little bit more. We're not back in the 1960s where if you went out and bought a truck, it should just bounce around and barely be held together, right? It should be more, and there's no reason we can't have more. I have, again, a perfect example right out there. The Jeep Gladiator is a blast to drive. It's fun. It scratches that itch. It's just too bad that Toyota's not doing it with the Tacoma. Now, I hope. We have a redesign coming, right? The Gen 4 Tacoma. It should be in the works by now, I think. I was told that once the Tundra was done, which it should be done by now, it's supposed to be released in December, right? At least the ability to order one, I think. So they should be focusing their efforts on the Tacoma now. And I really hope they focus a little bit more on the fun factor, the enjoyment that you get out of driving a truck. Again, when you have a truck that looks this good, it's got to have something else behind it, right? Otherwise, it's disappointing. Now, I mentioned I have two honorable mention things in addition to the only one thing that I would change, and again, that is the motor. or the setup. I would give it more power. I think it needs more power. But the other two, first of all, and this is a crazy little thing, but it's important, the grab handle. I see and hear tons and tons of complaints out there from people that want the grab handle. Now, I did put one in my truck, right? I put this aftermarket in and it's fantastic. Bit of a bear to install, I must admit, but it's fantastic. Why doesn't the Tacoma come with it? There's all kinds of rumors out there. You know, somebody hit their head when there was an accident. It blocks your vision, blah, blah, blah. But there are plenty of trucks out there that have that grab handle. Why doesn't the Tacoma come with it? And will they rectify that when they come out with the 4th gen? You would certainly think so, right? I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see if they actually address that. The other one, number 3, I guess, or number 2 in the honorable mention category, is the transmission. Now, I can say transmission across the board because there are a lot of people that complain about the automatic transmission in the Toyota Tacoma. Gear hunting, never knows where to go, never in the right gear, never stays in 6th. A lot of complaints about that. So they need to address that, I think. The Tacoma really, I think, should have at least an 8-speed. Again, hopefully they will in the future. The other thing is the manual transmission. You know, it's got probably the clunkiest manual transmission out there. I would wager that it is the clunkiest manual out there. And it's easy to say that because there's only 2 now. You have the Toyota Tacoma, and once again, the Jeep Gladiator. Now, I haven't driven a manual Jeep Gladiator, but I have heard that the transmission is pretty darn smooth. And I have no reason to think that it wouldn't. Given how the automatic is set up, I think they've probably conquered that as well. But it needs a smoother manual transmission. I know, I'm probably preaching to the choir because honestly, the manual transmission Tacoma is probably going to be gone. I wouldn't be a bit surprised when the 4th gen comes out if the manual transmission is no longer available. Certainly down the road it is going to go away, so it's probably a moot point. Do I honestly believe that Toyota's going to put any R&D money into a new manual transmission? No, I don't think so. There just aren't enough people left out there that actually want them. Now, I know there is a group that does, obviously. I'm one of you. I have it, right? So don't tell me that, yeah, there's this massive group of people that want manuals. If there were, Toyota would continue to sell them and they'd be selling and producing more. There just isn't. We're a dying breed, unfortunately, and I don't think it's ever going to change. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know if you could only change one thing about the Toyota Tacoma, what would it be and why? I'd be curious to know. And who knows? Maybe Toyota's listening. Maybe they'll take care of it in the 4th gen. We can only hope. Thanks for watching. And real quick, I have 2 additional channels. The first is about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. That channel is RobMotive JT. The second is RobMotive Civic, all about my experiences with the Honda Civic Type R and the Honda Civic Sport Hatchback. Check them out if you're interested. Why not go ahead and subscribe? Also, don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.